5 finals down, 1 to go. It is now the Division A final, the heavyweight fight, a rematch of sorts under different names. We welcome you to the broadcast booth here in Brossard, Quebec for the Division A Finals Spring 2017 edition. With me in the booth is Vinny Galano, Simon Dagenet, and yours truly Mo Khan. Good evening to you two gentlemen here. I will start with you, Vinny Galano. You played in Division A. You played against these two teams here. In your mind right now, could it be one or two mistakes that could be the difference on why Team A could beat Team B in this final?
As you can see in their last two matchups, it is. One came down to a Hail Mary. The other was a very tight game as well. It's going to come down to the last play. Who finished with the ball, I think, is going to win this game. These are the top two teams. My preseason personal ranking, I don't write articles, but I had these two finishing 1 and 2, and this is not a shocking final. That one mistake is going to be costly, and I'm curious to see who makes it.
All right, Simon, you've covered this division ad nauseum. Some people find you annoying.
Nobody does that.
Yes.
But right now, in your mind, look, we know about there's no love lost between these two teams here.
Very true.
Could the emotions be a big factor, and perhaps maybe an OC or two could be going early that might hurt a team's drive with the ball in possession?
You know what, Mo? We had the discussion in the Winters final of Division A, where Division 1, where D-Boys played against the Finals, and we said one mistake might cost this game, and both quarterbacks had 2 or 3 interceptions each. I believe this is going to be a similar type of game where nobody's going to play flawless. Nobody's going to be the epic version of themselves we expect them to be, but it's going to be the second half is going to decide, not the first half how it finishes. I think the score is going to be very close to the end of the first. Second half is going to be what decides really this game and who steps up after the first whistles.
Finals 7-3, first seed. Rare Bears 5-5, the third seed. The two times they played each other, the Finals won both games by a combined score of 6 points here. Finals will be on defense. Not D-Boys, but the Rare Bears will be on offense. And if you recall, 2 years ago, August 9, 2015, on this very field, this team beat the Finals to end their consecutive streak of titles in a row. Perhaps they ended at 3 today. We are underway here from Brossard. Marco Maciotto at quarterback. Quick pass up at Anthony Como, and that will be short of a first down. Tackled by Keyshawn Thompson with 21:35 left in this first half.
In my opinion, the interesting matchup to watch from the get-go is TOJ matching up against Pat Jerome. It's something we both know how Marco tends to lean on Theo on key downs. Pat Jerome is not the defender that some other players on this team could be. He's a very good safety. He's very strong when it comes down to jump balls, but in man coverage, he's not the best. It might be interesting to see what he does against Theo tonight.
2nd and 2 coming up here for the Rare Bears. Jacques Voigt, the right slot. Looking left is Maciotto up ahead to Jamal Giddens, who had 3 touchdowns against the Finals back in winter final. Vinny Galano, you look at these two teams right now. Jamal Giddens, could he be the X factor in this matchup today?
Of course. I could see Jamal Giddens. I don't think anybody on that team can keep up with Jamal Giddens. If Marco uses him properly, I think this can be a dominating game for him. And on defense, too. I don't know if Jamal is going to rush. I don't know if he's going to play safety. I've seen him pick off Kevin a couple times, and if he rushes, he'll be a difference maker on this team.
We'll see what happens. 3 TDs for Gittins. Maciotto threw 3 INTs in the loss to the Finals 4 months ago. Looking to rectify that situation. Maciotto looking over the middle. Open man, Gittins. Touchdown, 6-0 for the Bears.
You were foreshadowing right there. That was beautiful.
Perhaps I was.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Jamal was forgotten the safety split. Jacques Voigt was right there with Gary Taylor. But the ball went to Jamal Giddens, who was absolutely forgotten on the seam. 6-0 Rare Bears.
So many dominating receivers. It must be hard for them to decide who to cover. And just like that, someone like Jamal can get forgotten because you're focusing too much on Voigt, focusing too much on Theo.
Well, that's where the Rare Bears, speaking to Marco Maciotto earlier today, he believed that the team had the athletic advantage going into one-on-one situations with the finest defense and on offense. And now they're up 6-0 with about 19:50 left in this first half. A good start for Marco Maciotto, who's had some nightmares against the Finals in the last 2 finals. Rolling to his right, going over, picked off by Gary Taylor, who picked him off back in the winter, and he'll be stopped short of an extra point return. So it's 6-0. Kevin Wyeth now comes back into the saddle. And if you remember last time when they played in the final, Brian Lariviere had the big game. No Brian Lariviere. Could it be Kareem Burnett? That could be the X factor for this Finals offense.
Well, speaking of nightmares, right? Their first red zone trip, he was picked off by Gary Taylor. Does this foreshadow what's going to happen when they actually do get in the red zone position? Or was this just one of those plays where Marco, it's a convert, doesn't really matter, I'll place it whatever, I'll try it now instead of trying it later?
But to your question, I do think Kareem Bennett could be an X factor in this game. That is a matchup that is the most favorable against Matt Patrone if you look at the way they're lined up.
Wyeth had the two lowest outings the lowest outing against the Red Bears. Going deep, open man, and Kyle Lebowski was the man who was more open than Dansero, and it goes out of play. Second down coming up. Which matchup in your mind, Vinny, do you like for the finest against this Red Bears defense?
Like I said earlier, I think that the Kareem Bennett against Matt Patrone matchup is the most favorable for him. Kareem has that quick step after a snap, and Matt, as great of a defender as he is, he just might be that one step behind Patrone. As you saw last couple games they played each other, Kareem had the upper hand in that matchup.
2nd and 10 with 18:25 left in this first half. Simon Dagenet and Vinny Galano on the Div A finals from Brossard, Quebec. Wyeth looking right. Going Aked Moore, well defended by Marco Macioccia. Aked thought it was a bit of contact. No call, Simon. Your thoughts on that play?
I love what I'm seeing across the board. I'm looking at the finest receivers. Nobody's really creating any separations. Rare Bears really have the matchups locked down. Marco was right there with Aked. It's a matchup we've seen time and time again. Marco against Aked. They like to take each other on, and this is exactly what I'm expecting. I don't expect Aked to get any easy catches against Marco.
Aked, Pat Jerome combined for 25 TDs. Aked had 4 catches for 60 yards and 1 TD against the Bears earlier this season. Here goes Wyeth, going to Moore again, and through the hands, flag on the play. And Vinny Galano, in your mind, was there any contact to merit what should now be a first down for the finest offense?
I'd have to see a replay, but honestly, from quick glance, there might have been a slight tug, but
Here we go. This is the replay coming up right now.
in the finals, man, it's not a great angle, but in the finals, man, I have trouble believing that should be called. But let them play. Division A finals, like, slight little contact is going to happen both ways. Let it go.
Here's a better angle coming up here from our crack staff.
In my opinion, there's been a little
I
bit of tackle.
I honestly didn't see contact.
There's a little bit of tackle, but I don't think Aked would have
Not-
caught that ball regardless of the tackle.
I don't think it was enough to warrant.
Back to live action we go. Wyeth looking left. Going over the middle. Open. Dansero. 6 points. We are tied up at 6 with 16:55 left.
We've talked about Antoine early in the season where they picked him up. They had a few dominant games, but he had no stats to show for, so we couldn't really see his stats online. But he's been having a dominant season, and he's the kind of receiver that Kevin Wyeth might lean on a bit more than we expect.
Well, he caught the Hail Mary touchdown grab and Papineau, which was caught on tape. He was in the right spot, right time, and it's 6-6 as he was in the right spot, right time on the Kevin Wyeth touchdown pass. And now looking to take the lead for the first time this evening is the DA's finest. Looking to the left side, back end zone intended for Pat Jerome, incomplete. 6-6 lead here now for Marco Macioccia coming back a quarterback, gentlemen. We know about Theo Jea and his exploits. He has 11 touchdowns against the finest throughout his career. In your mind, I'll start with you, Simon. Could that be where he can win it with a Theo Jea, perhaps having another wild game like he did in years past?
11 in the playoffs, you mean?
In the recent memory of playing each
Because
other.
I remember Theo Jea going off for 7 touchdowns
Oh,
against
yes.
the Finals
Oh,
in that
yes.
one game in the
Absolutely.
winter season, I believe. I don't think it's going to happen again tonight, the way Marco's been spreading the football, but Theo is still someone you cannot discount for. You need to make sure everybody knows where he is on the field at all times.
Ojea, the right wideout, Matt Kurak, the right slot, looking to the triple slants, and he'll go to that side. Matt Kurak upfield, gets around Keyshawn Thompson, but barely close to a first down coming up here. He'll be second and short with 15:33 left.
It's nice to see Matt Kerouac. In the last couple games, he's been taking off a bit on defense, putting Jamal Gins to get a bit more pressure on the quarterbacks, and he's been stepping it up on offense. He's been making some great plays. Last game, he was a dominant receiver in the semifinals against Monstars. It's nice to see him being used early here.
Kurak has 2 TDs in the last 3 games of the season. He's been quite the force. However, not the strong sack season on defense. Only 3 for him this year. We'll see what he does this time around. Second and short. Macioccia looking right, short, caught by Como, upfield, real estate to work with. Gets around one player, and he'll be tackled by Keyshawn Thompson as Pat Chenard missed that tackle. And, gentlemen, we talk about the margin of error being very small here. A missed tackle here and there could cost you 3, 4, if not 5, 6 yards in this scenario.
I think Garrett couldn't believe that that Marco actually threw that ball, but he led Como. He threw slightly behind him in that perfect spot. And Garrett, as soon as that happened, he's like, I can't believe he threw that, but he kind of gave up on the play.
It was fantastic chemistry between
Oh, it was a
Marco
great
and
throw.
Anthony. It's the kind of play where it's very difficult to make. It's very difficult to tell him what to do, but when you do start getting that chemistry together, it's flawless.
Third first down of the evening for the Bears. Chomping at the bit. Macioccia going right, caught by Theo Jea and tackled right away from Pat Jerome. And we might see that matchup on both sides of the football here, Jerome versus Ojea. Who has the edge in that battle, gentlemen?
I want to just take this one if you guys don't mind.
Go for
I
it.
got a lot of slack from Pat Jerome for in the last podcast saying that he cannot cover Theo. Pat is not very happy with me right now by that comment, but I stand by it. I think Theo has the matchup. Pat Jerome, great receiver, defender. He could be a little bit of a liability out there, and I think that's a matchup that Marco, maybe not this early in the game, but he will exploit.
On offense, Jerome has 9 TDs in the last 4 games. 13:45 left in this first half. Masiocha looking over the middle, pumping, pressured, and through the hands, and that may have been deflected by Keyshawn Thompson, the wily veteran, coming through on a PD for the Finest defense.
As we mentioned a bit earlier, their only red zone trip was intercepted for the convert. Now Rider Bears is back driving in the red zone. It's third down. Marco doesn't look so comfortable with his plays. Finest has a very good red zone defense, and this might actually be key for them tonight.
That's the voice of Simon Dagenet, Vinny Galano, Mocon here on the call for the Division A finals, the last finals of the 2017 spring season. We've seen some thrillers between these two teams of late. Perhaps we are in store for another photo finish between two bitter rivals under different names at times here, but most of the same core of players. Looking to his left now is Masiocha going cross by. He's almost sacked, and that's caught by Theo Ojea as Garrett Taylor gave him a little push at the end, but Ojea had none of that to go against him.
So that's the matchup he wanted, Ojea. But granted, it was his own defense there, but Marco made a nice play. He eluded the rusher a bit to the left and just threw cross body, and it was perfect timing right there with Theo.
As much as we love to give credit to Antoine Dansereau, that was a mistake by him. He should have had that sack. Marco was looking. His first read was taken away. Second read was taken away. The rusher was right there, pulled, but the flags didn't come off, and then they connected for a touchdown. That could have been a very different scenario if Antoine would have had that sack.
For the Finest guys this year, you look at their wins, they had 7 in total. Only 2 games they won by 10-plus points. Every other game was 9 points or less in the victory column here. A lot of close games. We're maybe looking at a same scenario here of this being a close finish between these two teams. 12:07 left here. Extra point attempt coming up. Rolling. Through the hands, incomplete. And now the Finest offense will come back after Kevin Wyeth was successful in his first series. Down by 6 with 11:53 left here. In this scenario, guys, do you like that quick strike offense of the Finest, or would you rather play out the plays and not get any of these guys ample time with the football?
The Finest are taking advantage of what they have. You could see, as you could see in the last drive, Rare Bears are playing a lot of man defense. And you know what? I did say the Patron-Kareem matchup was a good one, but you know what? Dawsono and against Kyle, man, that's a speed mismatch there. As much as Kyle's a great defender, he could just run right by him. And I think Kevin's going to take advantage of that one.
Here's Wyeth. High snap going left, caught by Pat Jerome. His first catch of the day, and he's tackled by Kyle Lebowski, a guy that the Red Bears believe is the most underrated player on this roster. No one talks about him, but yet he puts up numbers on both sides of the football, Simone.
I believe he has the career most pick sixes.
He does.
He's phenomenal playing the corner position. That was just zones for them. It's not so much a Kyle made a mistake. They were playing zones. He was dropping back with his receiver, and Pat Jerome came underneath. It's a smart play by Kevin Wyeth.
Lebowski, 4 TDs in the last 3 games of the season.
Lebowski is a great player.
Mike Harrington, the right wideout, he is covered by Jordan McLaren, who has been a nightmare, a thorn in the side of the Finest offense. Wyeth looking left, short again. Pat Jerome, same play. Theo Ojea with his first tackle of the evening as it remains 10:35 left in a very fast-paced opening half.
Kevin, so they're playing clearly man defense right there, and Theo, one of the best defenders in this league, he's having trouble catching up because Kevin just leads that ball perfectly, and that fastball, it's hard to cover.
It'll be a third down coming up for the Finest offense. This is their first third down of the day. So far, they only have 1 first down converted, of course, on that long touchdown pass. And here we go with 10:10 left in this opening half. Wyeth looking right, going to the corner of the end zone. More well covered by Marco Masiocha. It's now 4th down. Gentlemen, this is a big play coming up for the third down. Gentlemen, this is the big play coming up now for the Finest offense.
In my opinion, this is the kind of matchups that Kevin Wyeth likes to see. They're only down by 6 by default, technically. I think this is the kind of position he wants to be in, starting on defense and starting on offense. They're only down 6, so that means that the opponents didn't get the converts. They have a chance to go up with a score right here.
Here we go. Big third down opportunity for the Finest. This is now their first chance at it. Looking for the slant. He's got it. Dansereau upfield. First down on more. Touchdown. That's 2 for the young buck. And we are tied up at 12. A great catch and run by the youngster.
To my point earlier, you could clearly see it's man defense, and just as great as Kyle is a defender, he just can't keep up with him. He's too fast for him. And that is a matchup that Kevin will exploit. unless they switch that up.
And here's a replay right now, gentlemen.
There was a collision between Kyle and Mike Arrington after the run.
I don't think so.
You
I think
see it-
Kyle just dove, no?
No, you see it right there. There was a collision as Mike was coming across and Kyle was trying to get the tackle. Never saw Mike, and Kyle was slow to get up, but he looks all right.
Here we go. Finals looking for their first lead of the evening. Tied up at 12 with 8:54 left in this opening half. Wyeth looking to the right. Middle, corner, open, more. 13-12 lead for the finest.
As I mentioned earlier, this is exactly the kind of situation that Kevin White wanted to be in. He knew that if Rare Bear doesn't get the converts, he's going to lead before the halftime with these converts. He's been very successful with those 1 points. Rare Bear needs to put the pressure with those 2-point converts, which we don't see often by Kevin Wyatt, by the finest offense. And now the finest is back in the lead by a point.
Kevin is too dominant in these converts situations. And if this game comes down to converts, I'm sorry, Rare Bears, but I think it's going.
That's
good
what
at the finest.
Marco Masiocha said. It got an extra point attempt is probably as valuable as an INT because of how close these games have been. And when you think about it, the Rare Bears were 1-3 to start off the year, and they lost so many close games at the early portion of the season. And here they are down by 1 with 8 minutes to go in this first half. Masiocha looking, pumping, going deep, void open. And that might be a one-hopper. What will be the decision? We might have to go to the replay booth.
Ooh, I don't know.
We'll
I can't tell
see.
from here.
It's a first down, and now we'll see if the finals will challenge this.
I think they're going to challenge. They look like they disagree with that call.
Let's see the replay on this right now. And a bit of incensed finest defense here. From our view, it looked like it was a one-hopper. He may have trapped it. Here we go, guys.
That was a fantastic play by Jacques Void to get open over there. The replay is a bit.
It
We
looks
might
like
have-
his hands are under it,
We
though.
don't,
I
we
gotta
don't
say,
have the perfect angle on this replay, but
But here we
Marco
go.
they
this-
didn't challenge anyway, so it
Marco
doesn't matter. They
really
did-
did good to see that play, but he had to turn around. He was a bit caught back foot. His body position wasn't great, but he still got the ball over there, and now they're winning red zone again.
There we go. Knocking at the door with 7:09 left here. Surprised by the finals not challenging. Who knows? We'll find out if this will cost in the end. Masiocha looking to the right corner through the hands of Jacques Void as he went too much vertical on that throw. Gentlemen, would you have challenged that play, yes or no?
I would challenge it just because the finals. Well, you only get one challenge.
Only one challenge.
You know what? It depends how confident they were. They looked like they were protesting quite a lot that was not a catch. And if they were that confident, I would have challenged it. But I guess somebody had a good, better view and decided not worth it at this point.
Let's not forget.
It's
the
too early
finest
in the game.
complains about pretty much every call, every play.
That's also
So
very true.
That doesn't mean they were in disagreement. That could just mean they were trying to get in his head, right?
So are you trying to say the finals are the league whiners?
No, I didn't say winners. They'll chirp about everything because they know they can get in your head.
Fair enough.
6:25 left here in this first half. 1 point lead for the finest. Masiocha looking right, pumping, short pass. Como, spin move, touchdown. It is now back up to a 5-point lead for the Bears.
I'm very impressed with Marco so far. He's making some great throws in tight coverage. I'm happy to see this.
Marco has only one incomplete so far in this game.
I know.
Well, Anthony Como has had a field day against the Finest. 4 touchdowns this year on 11 catches against the Finest, and he's a guy that has had quite a good run of late. 16 catches coming into this game in the last 4 games, and right now he's showing why he's been a valuable commodity for the Bears offense.
I find Marco really uses Anthony Como properly against the Finest because it's the way the Finest plays defense, and the snapper is used perfectly in this game.
5-point lead, looking to make it a 6-point lead. Masiocha looking left, pumping, going back end zone. Great catch by Papich.
Good job, Papich.
And it's a 6-point lead for the Bears.
That's a big play right there. They need that convert to keep up with the last one. And Papich made a great catch behind him, a little high behind him, but Marco threw where he can catch it, and he made a great play.
Sasha Papic, very underrated player in Division 1, Division A. He's known for being a very dominant player in lower divisions, but as you move up, not a lot of people give him a chance, and it's his first time in Division A, and he's been a dominant player for Rare Bears.
Well, you think about it, in the last few games, he has 2 INTs in the last 3 games, had a pick 6 against Top Gun, so his defensive exploits have been quite fantastic for this team. 4:52 left in this opening half. 19-13 lead for the Rare Bears. Wyeth looking, cocking his arm. He's going to go deep, open more, and just missed them by 2 yards. And there will be a flag on the play. Walter Berry making the call here, and it appears this is going to go against the Rare Bears from the looks of
I
it.
think Marco gave him a slight tug on
We'll
his
see the
double
re-
move. I think it was a post corner. Yeah, exactly. And Marco gave him a slight little tug as he fell.
No, I feel like Marco
Marco did the right play because
Yeah.
if he didn't do that play there, I think that was going to be an easy walk-in touchdown right there.
Here's a
was on-
replay coming up,
yeah.
gentlemen. Let's see what happened.
Posts.
Marco was on the outside shade, and as he went back, Marco tried to
Yeah,
undercut him.
He gave him a little tug there. Look, he's
he
pulling
got
him there.
right in front of him.
A little hog tie
And
right there,
yeah.
but he took the brunt of the
But you know what?
insults.
Look, 5-yard penalty on a holding penalty as opposed to an
Well,
easy touchdown. I
well,
think that's a good call.
well,
Good
yeah.
play by Marco. I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate that defense right
Deep
there.
fire. Walter Berry called the unnecessary contact on Marco for jumping. Right.
And as you
That's-
can see, they switched the defense up a bit here too.
Inside 4 to go. Wyeth looking left. Short pass called by Pat Jerome and once again Theo Jaya. And Vinny made that great point, though. Those quick outs might be the benefit of the finest to really give a couple of bite punches here and there and then go for the knockout blow afterwards.
But as you can see, they switched up the defense because you saw Kyle unfortunately was not able to keep up so much with Dawson. So you see Kyle now moved over to Kareem, and you see Jamal is no longer rushing. He's playing on him, and Kerouac is in that rusher. They switch up the matchups for speed reasons, clearly, and let's see if it pays off for them because they're playing a lot of man right now. And you can see they're lined up in man again.
Big play coming up here for the finest as we approach 3 minutes left. Short pass, Screen Bennett, his first catch. Kyle Lebowski with his tackle. And that'll be enough for a first down, and they'll move those sticks.
I love the new matchups across the board. It just shows how deep the Rare Bear roster actually is. They could have Jamal Gibbs rushing. They could have Matt Kerouac rushing. They even have Terrence Adams on the bench. There's a lot of possibilities to move guys around, to switch the matchups, give them different looks. And it's actually playing in their favor right now as Antoine Dansko is having a monster game. They put a shutdown corner as Jamal Gibbs on him. He might not have so many targets anymore.
2:45 left here. Looks like it'll be a man-to-man again for the Bears defense. Wyeth looking for the matchup. He's going to go across. Great play by Jordan McLaren. That ball intended for Mike Harrington on a post. And Harrington had a step on him, but McLaren's athleticism came back to help out.
Fun fact, I was actually having a conversation with a couple of the guys from Rare Bears, and I was saying, like, they were telling me a bit of what their matchups are going to be because they're going to play a lot of man, as you can clearly see. And McLaren wanted Mike Harrington. And I'm like, why? He can cover so many other people like Mike Harrington. Granted, he's a great receiver, but I think Jordan should play on Aked. And they're like, because Mike Harrington's a football player, and he talks a lot. And he will not talk if a football player is covering him. And as you can see, Mike Harrington seems pretty quiet right now.
We'll see what happens if he stays quiet. Pump and go. Aked Moore boxing out Marco Mastiotto close enough to a first down. We'll see where they mark it off. It will be either a third down and short or it will be a first and goal coming up. And it looks like it's a first and goal for the finest offense with 1:45 left.
On your point that you brought up earlier, Vini, it's tough to tell when you don't have a catch. As much as a good receiver Mike Harrington is, he hasn't been involved in this offense so far. He doesn't have a catch, so he can't really say anything. So we'll see what happens in this red zone against Jordan McLaren.
Everyone has caught a ball except for Mike Harrington. We'll see if he will factor in now in the red zone. Has been quite the factor now. Wyeth inching closer perhaps for the tie. Pump looking, and he'll throw that ball away as there was no one open. And
That's got to be intentional grounding, no?
Well, Mike Harrington was right
Harrington,
there, but gentlemen, in this case here,
That did not look like it was going for Mike Harrington. He threw it out of the end zone. Mike
Was it-
Harrington was at the front of the end zone inside. He threw it to the back
He could
corner.
have leaped there.
I don't think
That was
so.
the second target of the game.
well, in this
0-2.
case though, do you like the man-to-man look that the Bears are going with? This close, this clustered in the end zone.
I feel it's a very difficult position to put yourself in. There's a lot of double, triple moves that we see in the red zone with 5 yards to go, and it's very difficult to cover double or even triple moves. So to go man, it's a bold, but it's what they do best.
45 ticks to go. Wyeth pumping, going right side. Great catch by Moore, touchdown. And it's now a tie game with 36 seconds left in this first half.
To my earlier point, see that out. Marco was in perfect position. He even swiped at the ball, and just Kevin has such zip on his ball. He could not get it. He couldn't get it. It was
Yeah,
impossible.
Kev's
But
a
I have
very
to,
strong receiver,
yeah, agree.
dominant, possibly the top 5 receiver in this league.
But I think that man-to-man, to your earlier point, is what they have to do. Because Kevin will pick apart a zone, especially in a red zone. Kevin is probably the best in the game in FPF at that. So if you play man, unfortunately, like that's the difference when you have Jamal Gibbs. Unfortunately, he has to cover the fastest receiver. He cannot rush him. And Matt Kerouac tries to break down too much. It's not like Kevin's going to try to break you. Just go at him. Run at him hard. Watch every play. He runs at him, and about 2 yards short of him, he kind of breaks down. And that gives Kevin that second or third read that he would not normally have with Jamal Gibbs rushing.
21 and a half ticks left in this opening half. Timeout called by the Bears, looking to preserve time plus plays. And now Finance looking to go back up 1. Slant, caught. And again, whether it's Jamal Gittins or Kolobowski, Desaro has had a huge day so far with another extra point attempt. It's now 20-19, and we'll go down to 5 plays in mere moments.
With a very smart timeout call by Rare Bears, they might be able to squeeze in 6 plays before halftime instead of 5, which could end up being the one-score lead they're looking for to get before.
Oh, they didn't get it. I think it's
They
5
didn't get
plays.
it in. They had to get the snap in before they hit.
So they wasted a timeout instead of.
Could
pausing.
that bite them in the buttocks if it ends up coming down to timeouts?
I love the word about that.
Oh, we'll have to
I
use
don't
that
think.
word.
Yeah, they're not worried right now.
20-19 lead. Remember, the Finals will have the ball second half here, so this is an important drive for the Bears. Masiocha looking pressure, throwing it on his back heel and intended for Theo Jaya, and that will go into the curtains as Jaya ended up on the other side of the field.
That was a very smart play by Marco. He knew he was under pressure. He knew where he was on the field. He knew he was in his own zone. A safety would have been devastating for the Rare Bears. He threw it out of bounds. A very smart play. They still have 4 plays, which is more than enough to score before half.
And completely off topic, I love that the refs are heckling the other refs. This is
Tradition that they've done for
But
many
this
years.
is beautiful right
It's
now.
FBF finals
This is
too.
the best crowd I've ever seen for a Division 8 game, by the way.
for a Sunday night on top of that.
Division 8, like Division 1A, never have a crowd, and this is the great crowd right now.
4 plays left, 2nd and 10 for the Bears offense. 1 point lead for the Finest. Trenard drops back. Masiocha looking, and he'll be pressured again. Back heel almost picked off by Garrett Taylor as he flexes his way to Theo Jaya. And it's 3rd down with 3 plays left, gentlemen. And you wonder if they don't hit on this 4th down, Finest gets the ball back with perhaps 2 plays, who knows, and they might have a chance to put the hammer into the nail.
They switched to rusher right now for Arrington, but that was a great rush right there. He forced Marco to throw it off his back foot, and that defense was locked down. They showed pre-snap that Chenard was shooting, and Marco still couldn't take advantage of that corner because they played it so well.
Hey, that's back-to-back plays where Antoine Danseau had fantastic rushing. Now they switched out. Mark Arrington's back at rusher. You know Antoine might have been tired after 2 back-to-back 20-yard rushes. They're putting someone else in. Very smart play by the Finest defense.
Here we go. Fresh legs for Harrington. We'll see right now. Marco Masiocha on a 3rd down. He's going to cock it, and he's going to get sacked. Safety.
As we discussed earlier, that's the kind of play that Marco was able to avoid earlier in the game. He had to chuck it up. He had to discard it. Now they switched to rusher. Mike Harrington came in hot, and that was a fantastic tackle by him. He dove, got it right before. If he would have missed him, Marco would have bought just enough time to complete something past half field. Now they get 2 plays. They're up by 3 points.
And here's a replay right there, gentlemen, and right there.
It was a clear safety.
Fantastic sack too.
Marco's got to be smarter, though. Come on, this is Division 8 finals. You have a 12-yard drop. You don't even need to be in your end zone for your drop. And then you take that. That's huge. Just throw it up. Throw it over Theo's head out of bounds.
Don't
Like,
forget.
and then punt it. Don't give him 2 points because this game's going to come down to converts. And those 2 points right there are deadly.
Don't forget they have 2 plays now instead of
That
just
might
one.
be that mistake we spoke about earlier, Mo.
And we'll see now if Wyeth can get 6 more out of this hole. And he's going to go deep for the juggler. Jerome. McLaren. Jerome! He just bossed McLaren for the touchdown. 28-19.
I have a feeling that Jerome was looking at me after that
I think
catch.
he was looking at
Let's go,
Simon,
Vinny.
actually.
I was saying, let's go, Vinny.
No, it's me because I called him out in the podcast. But I didn't say you can't beat people as a receiver, Jerome. You're a fuck.
That was.
You're an sorry, excuse my language. You're an extremely good receiver. I just don't
Here's the
think you're
replay,
great on
gentlemen.
defense. But that was a great catch.
That was a fantastic play.
He
That Pat Jerome.
mossed Jordan, and that is not going to happen very
He
often.
didn't moss him. He bossed him.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
bo-
he did.
boxed
Okay, he
him out.
bossed him.
He
He
both
bossed him.
They both have hands on the ball, but Pat Jerome is such a good receiver.
That was a great
Here's
catch,
another replay
honestly.
coming up right now. Better replay, and we'll see where he bossed him.
That was beautiful, honestly.
Live action, and Jerome hits on the extra point attempt. It is now a commanding lead for the Finest at halftime with 1 play to go. 29-19. And let's not forget, gentlemen, whatever happens on this play happens. Finest will have the ball back to start the second half here. They could theoretically go up by 16 points
17 maybe?
at minimum, yeah.
So in this case, with 2 plays, Rare Bears need to play safe and just make sure they don't get this kind of situation. Now, Pat Jerome made probably one of the biggest plays of the night.
That was honestly that was a great
Eight,
catch.
8 points in 2 plays right now,
That is what
gentlemen.
Division A is all about right there. That
Oh,
catch right
my
there.
apologies. 9 points in 2 plays, gentlemen, when you think about it. Incredible turn of events here. We'll see what happens on this Hail Mary from Marco Masiocha. Desagallo is going to rush him. He's going to launch it up there. Knuckler in the end zone. It goes out of bounds. 10-point lead for the Finest. Momentum on their side. What is finished for the first half for the Finest?
Speaking of defenders, Pat Jerome got the PD on that too.
But no, I don't think so. I think Theo just went with one hand. But Theo, go up with 2 hands, man. I know you're the best one-handed receiver, but
And here we go. Right back to it we go. But we'll go to the pregame thoughts of the 2 teams beforehand here. Stay tuned.
it's kind of like this happens almost every game, but we're just on film, right? This happens. It's football. You can't be perfect all the time as much as you would like to be, but man, mistakes are made both sides, and we're just lucky that this week it was in our favor. Normally the other games it's kind of been against us. This week, finally we got one to go our way. That was our go-to. It was our defense. We knew that our defense, we have the athletes to match up with everyone, and we kind of wanted to show them, like the Monstars, they're the highest scoring team in Debate this year. We kind of wanted to be like, no, our defense is here. We're legit. We switched a couple things up. We didn't show much in the regular season in terms of what we could do. Different rusher, different guys playing in different spots, but our defense is definitely what kept us in the game. For a time where our offense isn't really clicking, our defense really showed that we can carry a team to a victory. We kind of switched up how we go about playing the Finest because we know that they can score on one play. We know that they can score on one play. They showed it in the Hail Mary or not. They're always a threat to score. So we kind of went about playing them a bit different this year than they're normally used to. And I think that kind of played into our favor. But again, you leave them with one play, and that's one play too many, and they took advantage of that. And I'm hoping that we can figure out a way to get it with one play left again, because you don't want to do it on the last play, but this time get that Hail Mary to hit the ground. I think what Anthony Como does on offense for us, just getting the ball to me quick, and then having his big body spread all over the field. I think that really opens up everything for everyone else. And then defensively, obviously we have two of the best defensive players in the game, in Theo Jaya and Jordan McLaren. But no one gives the love to my boy Matt Petroni. He's running around, making tackles, stopping people on fourth down. So a couple years ago when I was bartending, it would definitely be let's go, let's party it up, Oshaga after party somewhere. But now that I'm with a nice lady and I'm kind of settled down with a job, I mean maybe a couple drinks here, but definitely need to get home. The game's probably going to be ending at 10:30, anyways. So maybe a few drinks, but after that, I hit the bed. It is FPF. It's going to be something sick, but we still got to work the next day.
Our offense clicked. We didn't have no bad interceptions, no drop balls. The offense produced the way we're supposed to. Defense played their game. They got 2 picks. We only need 1 pick. Their defense is probably the best defense I've seen out of all the other teams. So it's always a game. I got to have the ball precise. It's got to be there. With Theo, with Jamal, with McLaren, these guys are on point. So if I off by a little bit, it could be a pick, it could be a pick 6.
Back to live action we go. Second half. Desaro almost got by Kalaboski. That should be very close to a first down. It will be a first down. The fans are still buzzing from that Pat Jerome boss catch on Jordan McLaren, the best cover corner who got beat fair and square.
That was back to that catch. That catch was unbelievable. But back to the game now. They switched the matchup back up. They put Jamal back at rusher, and they put Kyle back on Donsano. And right off the bat, it pays off. They have a catch.
Simo, I was going to ask you, what's going through the minds of the Bears right now, knowing they're down by 10? They gave up literally 9 points in the span of 2 plays.
They need to stop. They need any sort of turnovers. Their defense needs to step up, and they need to create something.
Corner, more incomplete as he had Marco Masiocha beat on the second move. And perhaps, gentlemen, could that matchup be flipped? Do we see someone go up against Aked Moore not named Marco Masiocha?
I don't think so. I think because of size and speed, I think Marco is – well, I think personally Jordan McLaren's the best matchup, but that's another story. But second best matchup, I think Marco is that guy. Marco's a big guy. Marco's deceivingly athletic. Like, you see him as a pocket passer, but he is very athletic. As defense, he's been two-way player numerous times. He's a dominant defender. And he can match up size-wise with Aked. Not many people can.
2nd and 10 as we approach 20 minutes left in this football game. Wyeth looking left. Post play. Desaro, great catch. Underneath the arms of Kyle Laboski in for the touchdown. 35-19. Another highlight grab for the young buck.
Antoine Danso is having a disgusting game right now. He's making fantastic catches for his team. He's making those plays. It's not the easiest of catches to make. As a receiver, that's not the kind of plays that I would have to go to the finals. But Danso is positioning himself perfectly against Kalabowski. He gets the box, and then he just managed to get in after somehow.
He Barry Sanders, Kyle Lebowski, made him spun around a couple of times there, and this snuck in underneath his arms.
He's dominating this matchup right now. And Kyle, you can see Kyle, he's not too happy right now.
35-19. There's still 19:35 left in this second half here. A Himalayan mountain to climb for the Rare Bears as Lebowski bats that ball down. They're down by 16, gentlemen. That's 2 full scores. A lot has to go their way if they want to get back in this game or even close enough to this game.
There's 19 minutes left in this game. This game is far from over. As long as Rare Bear scores on this following possession, a 2-point convert will be enormous for them. They'll be only down 8 and put the pressure back on Finest to play mistake-free.
But I'm scared, man. I told you that one mistake might be a bit, and that's safety. Not only to give him 2 points, but it took away a play lost. And that might be that mistake that we spoke about pre-game, yes.
Mistakes too. The coverage was also... Badgeron made a fantastic play, but it was also
unbelievable catch, unbelievable.
Time is ticking for Marco Mastriotra. He's got to push this ball, and he does. Como, and he will get close to a first down, tackled by Keyshawn Thompson. He'll be second in about 2, if not a yard to go with 18:35 left.
It feels like they need to go and hurry up, but I disagree. There's so much time left on this clock. There's so much time left in this game. Just play your football, do your thing, go slow if you must. As long as you score, nothing else matters.
Play your game right now. You cannot, unfortunately, afford a mistake right now, but just play your game, keep doing what you're doing. You have plenty of time. 13, 14 minutes left.
Score is all that matters.
Jacques Voigt and Jordan McLaren flipping the slot back positions. Mastriotra looking, going deep, has an open man, Ojea, and just went by his left paw. Incomplete, and that is a play that you can see from the frustration perspective. Marco thought he had him.
I personally think Theo could have gone 2 hands there. I know Theo is the best one-handed receiver, but I hope he's not hurt right now.
He leaped out for the ball. He tried to make a disgusting play.
I think he might have hit the garbage can right there in the back.
We'll see if we can replay on that one here, but that does not look good at all. Theo J is in pain, and here we go. Here's a replay. Hopefully this can shed some light on what exactly transpired. Open the corner route, and he lands.
He just landed.
I think he just landed awkwardly.
He landed hard. Yeah, he landed hard.
But
he laid out. I think he still could have got 2 hands on it, but he laid out. He put his body on the line, and as you can see, he's paying for it right now.
I disagree with you, Vinny. I think the ball was out of bounds. There was no way he could get there, first of all. He was open. There's no reason for that ball to be that far out of bounds.
But same thing. Look at Marco's pass to Void. Void had a touchdown, and Marco on the film.
And right now, he's not gotten up. He's been in that same position for the last, I would say, 35, 40 seconds.
I'm scared he hit his head. Honestly, I hope he did not hit his head. I didn't see it.
This would be a big blow if he cannot continue on.
Agreed.
He may not be full strength here, but they need him at some sort of physical presence, because without him, this almost might become anemic, and they may not be able to move the ball as well as he did. Here we go again. A replay from
He is still down right now.
Corner route, and you may think his left knee may have been in question. I'm not too sure.
It's really the way he came down. He laid his body out to try to.
It's his leg. It's his leg. You can see it right now. They're trying to lift his leg a bit.
And he's in agony right now. The pain is definitely severe, and
I think it's a bad injury, man. Oh, God, you hate to see that right now, especially for such a good player. Well, anybody, to be honest.
And right now, from the looks of it, with 17:50 left here, they will continue on here as he's clear enough here. But again, they will go to Jamal Gittins now in the left slot, and McLaren will go to the right wideout spot, which is occupied by Theo J normally. Quick pass, Gittins. And he's tackled by Jermaine Lewis Parrish.
As great of a player Theo is, Rare Bear has enough depth to allow them to still finish his drive without him. He's still their best player on the team. No jabs at him.
But you gotta imagine the emotional right now. The emotional, like, they're distracted right now. They're thinking about their friend, not only their teammate, but their friend is on the floor. He has not moved from where he fell. He's still lying there, and you can't imagine. Like, you're playing the game right now, and you're thinking about him right now. You can't. It's hard to stay focused.
It's a huge blow for them, thinking their best player just went down in this 16-point deficit.
17 minutes left in this second half. Mastriotra pumping, right side. Well defended by Pat Jerome. No flag in the play. And you can sort of see, gentlemen, by the body expression of both teams here, that not to say that they are defeated, but the Rare Bears have lost that mojo that they had early in the first half of this football game.
Another good play by Pat Jerome defensively, just to show. As soon as he made the play, he turned around again to Chervini over here.
I personally think he got there a bit early, but
that was a great play.
It's still a great play by Pat Jerome. But again, like you said, Mo, I think they're thinking about their teammate on the sideline right now more than they're thinking of the game right now.
And from our angle, now we're covered, but Theo did get up. We'll see if he's walking on his own twos. Masiocho looking left, pumping. Middle, called by Como, and he's tackled by Jermaine Lewis Parrish once again.
The story doesn't change.
Or
Rare
Parrish
Bear-
Lewis, my apologies.
The story doesn't change. Rare Bear still needs to score on this drive, regardless of how much time it takes. There's still 60 minutes left in this game. There's enough time to make a comeback. Rare Bears has a defense to make a comeback. They just need to execute, score on this drive.
15:53 left in this second half. Finest right now in control of this game, up by 16 points, the largest lead of this matchup. Looking right, short, caught by Como, and quickly tackled by Keyshawn Thompson. That should be enough for a first down. It will be enough for a first down, and now you can see Theo J. It looks like he has no power whatsoever to walk.
I don't think he's coming back right now. Like, he's limping. He's been held up walking. I agree with you, Mo, earlier. He definitely has a knee injury right now, and
Terrence is supporting him.
that's a scary sight
It
right
could
there.
be a knee injury, could be an ankle injury. We're not too sure what it is, but right now it's definitely
It's hurting.
It's hurting.
It's uncomfortable, and it sucks to see such a good player go down.
It sucks to see anybody go down, let's be real.
On the last game of the year. Caught by McLaren. Great move, and he gets in for the touchdown. It's back to being a 10-point lead for the Finest with 14:56 left in this second half.
Very good move against Keyshawn Thompson. Just
That's a big play right there.
squeeze back into the end zone. McLaren is an underrated offensive player. For some reason, doesn't get a lot of the love that he deserves offensively, but he's a fantastic receiver. And now with downtown, they need to go for two, and this convert is enormous right now.
It
to your-
is vital.
To your point, McLaren was rated our top 5 two-way player when we were doing our little tailgate last week. Cool.
Simone was not at our tailgate, by the way. He was.
He wasn't invited.
He was getting
Sure.
ready for the All-Star game. Trips right for the Bears offense on the 2-point convert. Masiocho going to the right corner. Void 2 feet in, and he will get the 2. So it's an 8-point lead. They're back in the game. And one turnover could be the difference now on the Bears keeping this a 1-score lead or allowing it to be a 2-score lead.
Could I ask a question? Why does Pat Jerome look at me when he makes a play, but when the play goes over his head, he doesn't look at me?
Because he's far away from you, actually.
Oh, no, but why? Why, Pat? If you're such a big man, look at me when you get beat. Don't only look at me when you make a play.
Well, he's on the other side of the field, Vinny.
Okay, he looked at me from the other side of the field.
I'm not sure you can talk.
Mo,
right now, Vinny.
stop.
I'm just letting you know.
I could talk.
The geography of the football field where we're situated is a little bit further away
Moses,
from the end
stop.
zone.
Theo is back on the field.
So Theo is going to give it a run here. Now, if you're the Finest, do you attack Theo J to see how he is physically speaking here?
First play, 100%. You go deep on him right away.
But what do you do now for the Rare Bears defense, Simon? Do you go zone to keep him out of harm's way of a man-to-man look?
But you see the mistake they just made? Sorry to interrupt this question. They put Theo on the field to get him back on the field, but he didn't have a flag. They were forced to call a timeout.
So now they have no timeouts.
If I'm not mistaken, they just called a timeout because Theo did not have a flag and they were going to take a penalty.
Yeah, Theo just gave a thumbs up. He's okay. Now, in this question, Simon, do you go zone to avoid him being in a vulnerable position?
He looks good
He looks
enough to
walking.
play. I would not attack him simply due to the fact that he might take you by surprise. Go somewhere else.
Oh, he's
There's no
hopping.
reason to test him. He's one of the best players on the field.
And,
And they
they're
test
going to
him.
attack him.
And they test him.
Jerome, touchdown.
And they test him. Jerome is looking at me again.
41-27, 13:25 left here, and Theo J definitely does not look like himself, as he couldn't.
Oh, I think he's giving the finger to Kevin.
I think he is giving the middle finger to Kevin Wyeth.
That was
I've never seen Theo so rattled right now. Oh, I think he's joking
Yeah,
around.
He's playing around with.
He's angry because he just came back from injury. You test him on a 40 bomb.
But if
it's
you're a
exactly
smart
what you
quarterback,
said.
which is Kevin is, you do that. Of course, you see how it's like. And Kevin did perfect. He threw it to the back of the end
There's a
zone.
replay right there, gentlemen.
Yeah, Kevin threw it to the back of the end zone where even if Theo is healthy, he won't be in bounds if he makes a play on it.
I love that on the replay we see Pat Jerome pointing at you.
Oh, Pat Jerome loves me.
Here's another replay right
loves me.
here.
That was a fantastic
He
play
had
by
a
Pat Jerome. Once again,
two-step lead on Theo
yeah,
for that
was
ball.
disgusting.
Back to live action we go. Quick pass, tipped, and out of play it goes. 14-point lead with 12:35 left here, and again goes back to 2-score lead. Now, Theo J, will he be on or off? It looks like he's going off on offense. Are you surprised by this, guys? He played one play on defense. Is he better suited now to play offense than defense at this point of the game?
I think he's more needed on defense because right now they have not stopped Kevin, and offensively they have, like Simon said earlier, bevy of weapons on the sideline there that anybody can come in and be a dominant player. Granted, not Theo Ojea, but defensively they need him to try to cover Pat Jerome.
So Kyle Lebowski will take the right wideout position. Matt Kirak, the right slot. Not much speed on that side of the field. Perhaps he goes to the left side, and he will. Quick pass to Como. Once again, Como having a good day at the office, and that'll be close to an 8-yard gain. Parrish Lewis, my apologies, with the tackle.
Como has been a fantastic weapon tonight. He's been used over and over due to what Finest is doing on defense. But it's been pretty good for them. They're moving the chains. Again, they're in the same position as they were before, but now down 14 instead of 16. The convert could be much bigger this time around.
It's unofficially his 6th catch of the evening. Again, looking left. Wheel route. Void catches that, and Chenard meets him at the point of attack, and there'll be perhaps more yards added, and there will be indeed, as Pat Chenard held up Jacques Void.
I agree with that penalty. The Finest tend to use their body to try to block the runner and then flag him, and a lot of times it gets looked. No, it gets looked past. Like they don't call it very often, but right now
Here
you
we
can
go.
see. Look, he's clearly bodying him, and then he's flagging him, which is fine. But in reality, that is a holding. He cannot move. You're wrapping him completely.
That is the kind of play that 4 referees will not miss.
No.
The 4 players in the 4 referee setup, there's not a lot of dead zones.
But I don't disagree with the play call. Like Pat
No,
Jerome,
it's
Pat Chenard, sorry, that's a
Yep.
great play. You're stopping the receiver from running.
If you would have missed him, he would have went in. That would have been a touchdown. Better off with the holding call. That puts them at the 1.
Exactly. Agree.
Extra point attempt coming up here. And he avoids the sack. For the 1-point convert, no good. And they will go back to offense with 10:25 left in this second half here. 14-point lead for the Finest over the Rare Bears. And for the Finest right now, guys, are you surprised they're going to a quick strike offense here? Should they just try to milk the clock now, slow it down a bit?
No, if you can keep pouring on the score, why not go for it?
Yeah.
Why wait?
White is doing exactly what he wants to do. He runs his offense. It's working. He takes the shots when he wants to. He takes the shots when he doesn't have to. It's great. As long as he sticks to his game plan, they're going to win.
Here's Masiocha again, looking to punch it in for points. Pumping, looking, short play, get-ins. Is that in? Yes, it is.
That was a great toe drag right there. Toe drag swag.
Solid catch by Jamal Giddens.
41-33 lead
Over the first
for the
one.
Finest.
As we mentioned,
Oh, they might be challenging.
And they will challenge it. I think the key camera will be the sideline camera to
Our boy Lance out there.
the Bears bench here. We'll see right now, gentlemen. Is this in or out? Both feet have to be in. Oh,
I don't
the
know.
white may have been
the heels might have been
percolating
on
over
the
there.
White.
I think the heel's on the white, honestly, sadly.
It looks like the heels are on the white, and we'll see what the call is.
Might depend on when the possession actually was.
I
acquired.
don't think it matters. I think it was on the white.
And if that's the case to be, we might remain at 14 with 9:38 left here in this second half.
Ooh,
And-
referees reviewing the play.
And to your earlier point, I think Kevin Wyatt would love to put a 60 burger right now on Rare Bears. I think that would just make him so happy.
Well, he's 19 away from that, but I think right now their main concern is that touchdown. Was that a touchdown, yes or no?
I think it was on the white, personally.
41-27 lead with 9:38 left here. Simon Dager, Vinicolano, Mocon on the Div A finals. It has been all Finest so far, and no confirmation just yet.
well, it's been a very good.
Here we go, another replay
Sorry.
right there, and that's tough to tell from that
Yeah,
angle.
from our angle.
Our
it's very
best vantage
difficult.
points on the sidelines here.
This angle that we're about to see right now, like his heels, like Simon said, depends when he caught it, but his heels are on the white. I don't think there's any angle that show. Like I think he's out of bounds.
Both referees were at the perfect position to make the call. And I
That
trust their
looks
judgment
like-
more
It looks
than
out, it
our
looks out.
possible replay.
He definitely caught it clean, but I still think his heels are on the line.
And remember, it has to be overturned. This wasn't called incompletion; it was called a touchdown here. So this has to be overturned if it goes in favor of the
Decisive evidence,
Finest.
right? Like, it has to be
exactly, it has to
clear
be
evidence.
conclusive
Conclusive
that his
evidence.
feet were on the white portion of the turf. And right now, we are still debating right now, and it appears. And from the indication that has been told to us, it's been overturned. No touchdown. And I believe this is the first time we've seen a Div A final be used and overturn a call.
Kevin is very happy with this call, and the crowd is going loud for him.
14-point lead. Clock will resume.
Kevin looks happy.
So they will have to use another play, the Rare Bears, and something they did not want to do, but they will have to do so now. Down by 14 with 9:25 left here. Going to the left side again. Masiocha going easy touchdown in his life to Sasha Papic. And it'll be 41-33 with
I feel like that
9:18
challenge
left.
was such a build-up for nothing because he was so wide open on the touchdown the next play.
Following play, same thing.
Like it was such a build-up. Oh my God, we challenged this, that, and then he was so wide open.
So
It looked
now-
like pitch and catch.
So now they're down by 8. They're going for 2-point convert once again. This convert could actually be a very big play for Rare Bears.
Incredible if they come back from the 16-point deficit to make it a 6-point lead. Masiocha, 6-point deficit. Great catch by Void.
Oh, that was a nice catch. Great
So-
throw, too. Way to throw it in that hole.
We
right
have a
there.
ball game with 8:45 left here. However, Bears don't have timeouts left, gentlemen, so they don't control their fate with trying to stop the clock to their advantage.
No, but down only 6 points at this point in the game. There's a very big chance that the Finest is able to, as long as they score, they maintain control. But if they make one single mistake, Rare Bear could take the lead with a convert on the ensuing drive.
And I liked seeing Marco there. Hurry up off. There was no huddle for that 2-point convert.
Didn't need it.
Right
They
away.
knew what
Right
they were
away. He
doing.
did. That's good, though. You need to, in this point, you need to be more foot on the pedal right now.
6-point lead, 8:10 left in this second half. Wyeth. Short pass, incomplete. May have been going to Kareem Burnett. Pat Jerome, it went to nobody. And it's now 8 minutes left in this second half here. And you wonder maybe the nerves are starting to become prominent for the Finest's offense.
The ball traveled 50 yards.
Are you telling me
they could
Pat Jerome
sign.
did not catch that ball right now? Like, that was the ball targeted to Pat Jerome? I feel like he should stare at me right now after that play.
I'm not sure that was to him. I'm confused.
I'm just joking because he keeps staring at me every time a ball's thrown to him.
If you have to explain it, it's not a good joke.
He's emotional.
7:35 left here in the second half. 6-point lead, 2nd and 10 for the Finest. Jerome, the left slot. Wyeth looking back. He's going to go deep to the sidelines. Mike Harrington's first catch of the day. Tackled by Marco Masiocha. That will be 3rd down coming up here. A big play for the Finest's offense with 7:20 left.
Finest has all the time in the world with a 6-point lead. As long as they score, they keep a 2-score lead in this game. It's basically in their hands. If they can't score, then they give Rare Bears a chance to get back in this game.
7:05 left in this second half here. And now Kyle Bosky will come back in the game for Sasha Papic, it looks like, or Matt Patron, my apologies. Patron winning Div C title earlier tonight.
Making a key pick in that game, by the way.
Absolutely, he did.
Let's see if he can do that later today when he comes back on the field.
3rd down coming up here for the Finest. This is going to be their first
Clear man.
attempt. High snap, Wyeth. Short play, Ken Moore with a shortstop dive, and that will make it a 1st down, and they will convert on the 3rd down with 6:35 left, gentlemen, and that means he can milk off at least another minute and a half from the clock.
The matchups are exactly what we discussed earlier. Kyle Lebowski's on Karim Minette, Jamal Gins on Antoine Dansereau, and Matt Kirak is rushing. I think this is an ideal setup for Rare Bears defensively, but they haven't stopped the Finest once yet. So
Kevin.
Sorry, Vinny, go ahead.
I was like, Kevin seems... Kevin is on his game right now, and it's... The Rare Bears need to take a chance right now. Just shoot something if you want to. Like, you need to make a stop right now. You cannot allow Kevin to keep driving on you like this.
6 minutes to go in this game. High snap again. Wyeth going deep, open, Moore, touchdown. 5:54 left in the game.
You can't let it be that tweet. Like, he just did a straight through, wide open. Like, Theo tried to get there, but he came from the right slot. He's not going to get over the left slot right
but
there.
again, you just told the Rare Bears defense you have to shoot something, you have to create, make a chance. That's exactly what they did. But when you shoot something, that leaves somebody open.
You left the seam wide open,
And
though.
Kevin-
Here's a replay right
Yeah.
here, gentlemen.
Marco shot right underneath. And
Marco shot nothing.
Yes.
He shot empty grass.
And
He didn't even shoot a player.
But that's the play, though. If your play call is that, you have to stick to your play
Yeah,
call.
but I agree, but shoot like a slant. Don't
And-
shoot nobody.
And what happens in this case is it leaves somebody open, and Kevin White just read it perfectly.
Big extra point now. Up by 12. Through the hands of Moore, and it remains 12-point lead with 5:10 left in this football game, gentlemen.
It's rare seeing that.
Once again, there's enough time on the clock to make converts matter a lot. If Rare Bears score, get a convert, they could be down by less than a score, and it could revolve in who gets the ball last.
Theo Ojea will give it a try on offense, going back in there with 4:58 left. The clock, the ally of the Finest, the enemy of the Rare Bears. Sasa Papic, the left wideout. McLaren and Ojea on the right side of the offense. Looking to the left side. Waiting, cocking it up in the air. Ojea cannot catch it with one hand, and you wonder if he may have hurt himself again on that play. But with 4:35 left here, he's got to catch that ball with two hands, as Vinny Galano has emphasized.
Well, that looked a bit out of reach, I won't lie, but
Again, I think he misjudged the ball.
I
a
think
little
Marco's forcing it deep. He's forcing it deep. He had Como open on the little drag stop. He had Void open on the out, and he's forcing it deep. Marco, just take what they give you. Drive the field.
I like what he's doing. It's first down. He saw an opportunity. He took a shot. Ended being incomplete. It's second down. It's not the end of the world. It's not third.
I
They're
agree.
still in very good position.
Another press, almost picked off. Como with real estate to work with, and he will get the first down here. Finals are 7-1 when they score 40-plus points. They are at 47 with 3:50 left here. And gentlemen, Anthony Como has been the go-to guy for the Rare Bears, and he may have to be the go-to guy for the last 3:45.
Well, there was a very good ball positioning by Marco Maciotro.
Great throw.
Keyshawn was crashing into him. If the ball would have been placed slightly to the right instead of completely to his left side, that could have been a pick for 6. That was a fantastic ball placement by Marco under pressure.
Great throw by Marco.
81 titles to the finest name on this roster. Maciotra has Papich inbounds. It should be marked off as a first down. It'll be very close to a first down. Now they will rush it to the bags.
Back-to-back throws by Marco. Great throws right there.
81 titles.
81 titles to their name,
Combined, like player-wise.
Yes.
player-wise.
That's crazy,
81.
man.
81.
That's got to be the record.
Meanwhile, for the Rare Bears, 27 titles to their name.
Still pretty good. Yeah,
Not
still.
bad. That's
The
almost
sad part is that's probably 1 and 2 in the league.
perhaps. Inside 3 minutes to go. Maciotra looking for the pass. Great play by McLaren
What a catch.
as he snaked that ball
Holy
in.
Jesus.
However, it is ruled incomplete. Flag in the play. We'll see if there's a challenge going to be called by the Rare Bears with 2:40. They can't call a challenge because it's no more timeouts for them. But right now, the flag will definitely be enforced.
Jordan got laid out, but I agree with the
Jermaine.
penalty.
That was
But
a
my
disgusting
God.
catch by Jermaine, by Jordan.
Look at that grab. Fantastic. Like a cheetah going up the tree.
Yeah, no, that ball hit the ground. But Jermaine came in there hot, and I agree with the penalty. That was a late hit.
It
But,
was a great catch by Jordan McLaren, but
well, it wasn't a catch. He dropped it.
he dropped
Now
it
the
because of
question
contact,
is,
right?
what type of is this a UR or is this incidental contact?
The question for you, Vinny.
I think it's incidental contact. He went for the ball. He made a play on the ball.
Here's another replay,
is a
gentlemen.
better angle.
Look at the vertical on that.
That's a sick
That
grab.
that reminds me of the 2004 NFL game, Broncos Raiders in the snow in Mile High. Ronald Curry making that one-handed grab in the snow back in the end zone.
I do recall that play. That was a great
Yes.
play.
You have to
Yeah,
talk about your Raiders, eh?
I have to drop it in there somehow, somewhere. But it almost, look at it again, watching the replay, same thing. One hand back in the end zone, and look at that,
That reminds
vertical.
me. That reminds me of Jordan McLaren's catch for Laval's finest a few finals ago when he made that. For
Yeah,
Cleveland
against that
Converse.
poor DB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That poor DB being Vincent Guilano. Thank you, Mo, for
That's
bringing
because
that
I'm
up.
the one that mentioned it, not you.
Why would I mention that? What, you want to call myself out here?
What do you want to do against that?
Honestly, nothing.
Now, the question is,
It's not you. It's stupid.
the referees are conversing with Jason Leclerc, who is the walkie-talkie coordinator for the replay booth. And I wonder, gentlemen, clarify the rules for me here. If you have no timeouts, you cannot challenge the play,
I
can
don't
you?
think it costs a
I don't
timeout
think-
here. I don't think it
Unless
costs
it's
a
a
timeout in
scoring
this
play?
league.
Well, anyway.
I'm not sure exactly.
I believe the rule said you need to take a timeout first and then call a challenge. But if it's a scoring play, there's no. You
Yeah.
don't need to take a timeout.
Yeah.
But I think that's if it's
there's a-
called a touchdown, not if it's not. Well, the NFL rule is if it's called a touchdown and it's a review, it's automatic.
No,
It's
NFL
not-
we understand, but
This was not called a touchdown. This was called incomplete. So I don't know if it's automatically reviewed. I'm not sure. But I feel like they are reviewing it based on the long huddle. So let's assume
I
they
think
are.
there's no question in the fall rules meeting they will have to clarify the exact justification of the rule itself.
So looking over the play with the different angle, Jordan McLaren looked to have the ball until Jermaine came in to try to tip it out of his hands. But there was clear contact between.
It's a clear penalty, but I don't think it's unnecessary roughness because
What do you think it is
Jermaine
then?
he went for the ball. You can see he's
So what's the
jumping up,
penalty if it's unnecessary?
pass interference.
Oh, you're saying it would be
unnecessary
like
contact,
Okay.
but it's
So a minor
definitely
penalty.
it was nothing malicious. You could tell he went for the ball and just that's about it.
So incomplete. There is a penalty on the finest with 2:41 left here.
So we're seeing unnecessary contact on the finest for 5 yards, which results in first down.
Hey, take that
But-
penalty all day.
Yeah, but there's no. It's a minor foul.
Back to live action we go. Masiocha all day, going back in the end zone, incomplete, 2:34 left now.
Marco's got to call hurry up offense right now. He needs to get his guys rallied up, get them on the line, and just snap the ball as fast as possible. Time is not on your side.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it over and over, but now the time is actually starting to wind down. There's 2 minutes 20 left in this game, approximately. The time is indeed not for Ray Bears, only to stop defensively.
2:12 left in this football game. It is now on the arm of Marco Masiocha to perhaps pull off a miracle of some sorts. Looking to the left, waiting. Middle, Ojea through the traffic. And that is going to be a flag on the play with 1:56 left. And you wonder what they will call this time.
I think Jerome got there a little bit early based on what I saw, but at the same time, it was so bang-bang.
Holding on the defense, but short at the 1, so not a touchdown.
Gentlemen, they have wasted they've wasted 20 seconds of trying to decide what the call is. I mean, for the players to decide what they have to do next here.
These are great penalties that the Finest are taking. They're wasting the clock. They're up 2 scores with less than 2 minutes left. They're taking these penalties, and it's worth it.
1:25 left in this game. Good snap. Masiocha pumping, looking. Short. Well defended this time by the man they call Jermaine Parrish-Lewis. 1:15 left here, and now they're almost down to their last 2 bullets.
Solid play by Jermaine Lewis Parrish to buy time a little bit and to make a play on something that Marco was more like a discard than an actual throw. And now they're back into the huddle, but as we mentioned, time's against them. If they get the 5 plays with the ball in their hands, Rivers, they lose.
Incredible. 55 seconds left here, and it appears if they don't hit it now, this game is all but done. Bears looking for that touchdown. Back end zone. McLaren skying high up there. Now you defer the point and you just give them the ball back. What do you do at
You
this
defer
point?
the point. You don't need those 5. You don't need the point. It's worth nothing right now.
Well,
you're going to waste
1 point. You need at least 1.
But now it's
But you
a
need time
47-41 lead.
Yeah, you don't need that point. It's a 6-point lead.
Yes, exactly.
Let it be. Let it be. You need that
Again,
stop.
Valuable seconds are being wasted by
They're
by
not
Bears.
taking the point. They're not taking the point. They're conceding the point. You don't need the point. You need to stop. You have not stopped Kevin yet. You need to play aggressive. You need to take a chance. Don't shoot empty space.
But however, Vinny, they wasted almost 30 seconds of play clock time. Are we going for the 1 point? Are we not going for the 1 point here? They shot themselves in the foot by not realizing, hey, give up the point and let's go back to the
you need to be
one
aware.
guy to say, no, we're not. That's it,
Unfortunately,
done.
nobody paid attention to that before the touchdown. You should realize, look, we're down this much. If we score, we are just conceding a
There's
point.
no
They're
question
putting
that
time back on the clock. They're moving
Okay.
up.
So
to
they move back
28.
clock, but no question, time management has not been the ally of the Bears so far. The last 5 plays, they gave up 9 points, and now they wasted valuable seconds. Clock is now ticking.
We need to see if they can stop Kevin. Now
This
the
is
time.
it. This is where they
You
lost
have
it
yet
down.
to do anything right now.
They need a bit more
Let's
on
go.
first down since there's 6 plays left in this game. But they need to find a way to stop Kevin, and it's now or never.
I think he's going to pat Jerome deep here.
Finals looking for the kill
Dagger.
shots. The Bears looking for a turnover and perhaps a chance at a tie game and maybe even the lead. They will play it down to the last second. Wyeth, kill shot, more, got it.
And that's the dagger right there.
That was an absolute beautiful route by Akia Moore. He played the fade perfectly up to the last second. Marco was on the inside. That's exactly where Akeda wanted him. Game.
Kevin is too good. Like Marco, even though he was a step behind, he still had fairly decent position, and just no other quarterback can make that throw that
The ball
Kevin just made.
placement was ridiculous.
That's it. He in the corner, just a yard inbounds, over top Marco. Like Kevin,
Both teams-
congrats. You deserve that play.
It is over. It
Well,
appears it's over. The Finest will win this game here.
Both players were expecting it. Kevin knew exactly where he wanted the ball to be.
And
Akeda knew exactly where the ball was coming. He played.
It is now officially over.
Yep.
Sorry, Simone. The
Congratulations.
Finest wins their second consecutive spring title. A huge win, 53-41. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Who, in my opinion, this game, it was all offense, all Finest. There was no stopping Kevin Wyatt, but the receivers made some ridiculous plays coming from Akeda Moore on a few touchdowns, Pat Jerome on a few touchdowns. Let's not forget the Red Bears offense is also very successful. They were barely stopped, but it's the small things that really cost them. The safety before the half with the play to Pat Jerome, the last dagger here. But the Red Bears offense did play really well.
Pat Jerome and Jamal Guinness are having some choice words here. Jerome didn't shake his hand of Jamal Gittins, and now they're going back and forth right now. So a bit of a extra barbing going on between the two teams.
And that's shocking because Jamal Gittins is one of the nicest guys in this league. He has never taken anything personally. He seems like just the most easygoing guy. But as to our earlier point before the game started, that one mistake, it was a safety. He took the safety, you gave him that extra play, and then Kevin got that bomb touchdown. That was a mistake, and that was the game right there.
How disappointing is this loss for the Bears, gentlemen? It felt like they had the confidence in the world that they could beat the Finest. Many thought the Finest would have been had today, but Simon, what went wrong for the Bears?
Looking at the numbers, Marco had 4 incompletions the whole game.
Unofficially, yes.
Yeah, unofficially. How much better can you be, right? It's like it came down to the very small thing. The safety destroyed them. They took a safety, allowed the score, but at the end of the day, your quarterback played fantastic, and he's still at a 12-point deficit against the Finest. Where do you go from here? That's my question. Where does Rare Bear go? The roster cannot be better than this. They can't really improve roster-wise.
It's a question that they'll have to answer in due time here, gentlemen, because when you think about it, they've now lost 2 finals in a row to the Finest. Even though they beat them 2 years ago on this very field, a lot has changed in the last 24 months here, and it looks like when people question the Finest, saying that they are probably on the end, you wonder now for the Bears, how do they recover? You're right, Samuel.
The Rare Bears haven't beat the Finest since that game.
In terms of the context of a championship game, yes.
I agree, yes. But they haven't beat them in the season game either.
Yeah,
that roster, a Marco Rossi roster with basically the same squad, a few changes here and there, has not beat the Finest since that game.
Incredible. Yes, the old man and the Finest took out the young school pups in the Rare Bears.
There's
and
still no denying Kevin White.
No. Yeah, MVP again, gentlemen.
Kevin White?
He deserves it.
Do you give a nod to Pat Jerome?
Pat Jerome, honestly, yes. It's 1A, 1B.
They should have had you present him the trophy.
I would have awesome. He would have spat in my face probably.
In my opinion, that was the play of the game was the touchdown to Pat Jerome. But again,
safety,
let's not forget who got the ball there. It was a 40-yard bomb by Kevin White that was perfectly placed. So you have to give a nod to the quarterback as well for throwing the ball. But
think about it though, Simon. When you think about the pass rush from Dansaro, what he did that led up to the safety by Mike Harrington, and then obviously the next play he scored, that boss catch by Pat Jerome, that pretty much put the sales in favor of the Finest, and they didn't look back from that point onwards.
The safety was the defining play of this game. It put, you could tell by the demeanor of Rare Bears that safety was huge. They went down 3 points at that point, gave the ball back with 3 plays, and boom, right there, within 1 play, touchdown.
The build-up was amazing, as you mentioned, by Antoine Dansaro. He put a lot of pressure on Marco to get things going. He was looking for the big gains, the 10 to 15 yards in. He had to buy time. He was dropping back a lot, and Antoine wasn't having it. They switched it up because they knew you can't rush that fast so many times. And with Mikey coming in, making a fantastic play at rusher, great diving tackle, got the safety that just gave, as you mentioned, the Finest that extra little motivation, the extra play they needed offensively to really put the dagger, and then they were out by 16, something Rare Bears simply could not catch up, although they played really well.
Gentlemen, final thoughts here on the Division A season, how it played out. Very close finishes, a lot of close games here, as I made the stat before. The Finals only had 2 games, now making 3 games that they won by 10-plus points, including this one here. But in hindsight, the gap is definitely closing. However, they still remain the king of the mountain.
As long as Kevin White is quarterback of this team, good luck, Div A or Div 1.
Well, the regular season was fantastic to follow. We had Munstars that finished second with the same record as the Finest, tied at 7-3. We had Rare Bears that struggled to get going. We had Rainmakers that started first seed with the 3-1 record before falling out of the playoffs. But to watch the whole thing unfold, it was a great season all around. The playoffs, it's a different beast. Guys showed up. It's summer. You might miss some guys left and right. It's difficult. Munstars were missing Breezeboy in that game against the Rare Bears. Could have went differently. All in all, it's been a fantastic season in Division A, and there's no second guessing it.
Finest maintain their hierarchy. They are the greatest team ever in FPF history. Spring champions again for the second year in a row. They won winter. They completed the season sweep. Perhaps they come back for the Fall Cup. Maybe win that. Who knows? We'll see.
Possibly.
But gentlemen, it has been a pleasure working with you two guys here on this broadcast. Div A was very close, and we anticipate the fall division to be even funner, and even next winter season to have a lot more storylines for us to work with. On behalf of Alex Dakula, Vinny Galano, Simon Dagenet, gentlemen, thank you very much. Robert Campana, Darren Basmerjan, PC Del Rizzi, these guys, all the visionaries on how this has played out for us here. We wish the Finest congratulations, And good night to the Rare Bears.